There we are. Before I forget, there is a 1 week break after this. So just 1 week break next week. Carry on the weeks after. All right, let's do this. I'll be blending for a while. See you soon. So in the stories of Krishna, it is often said that as a young boy, he used to visit various people and spend time with them, often shepherds or shepherdesses or cowherders. And he would visit and stay with them for a while. Sometimes they would work, sometimes they would rest, and sometimes they would contemplate. And if you ever see drawings or pictures of the young boy, at times you may even see that there is a shepherd, a Krishna, a shepherd, a Krishna, a shepherd and a Krishna, all standing in line. Now, this is symbolic that between all action, one should take a rest. Now, this is the rest of mind and of body. But it is also the rest of the desires of the heart. One should stand back and see the world the way it is before undertaking the next action. It is a break between actions and a realization of what is true. And in further writings about the life of Krishna, he would say that one who finds stillness in being is dear to me. So this is a person that maybe in meditation or daily life is undisturbed by the physical world, not pulled into all sorts of emotions and the necessities of life, rather one who just sees them as they are and knows that it is passing like a cloud across the sky. And the settlement of stillness, of true self, is primary to all things. One can often be pulled into various parts of life, in the need to work or emotions or the way one desires certain things. And it would be very natural in the human life for this to occur. Yet one should follow the picture and have the shepherd, the Krishna, the shepherd, the Krishna. That action may be required, but it comes from the sense of stillness. And therefore one is not elated or even depressed over gain or loss, because the stillness is permanent. It is the same with your meditation, that one often feels like the attachment to thought is pulling one away from the stillness, that it must be there somewhere. But if you were to look clearly in your meditation, you'll see that the stillness is always there. And for a time, you are attached or attracted to the thought or thinking. So focus on what is true, the stillness. See the attachment to thought arise and let it pass. Refocus on stillness. The use of a mantra would help one with this rambling mind, as it will cut through the pains, the difficulties, the desires, and leave them to one side, act as a barrier, and give you the sense of peace that is naturally available. Now, I think this would seem rather obvious, perhaps a little to do, a little difficult to do. But I'm going to continue this in another vein as we talk about grief in a little while. So let us first now go to the healing list of names, if I may have those names, please.
Yes, thank you. Natalie and Maddie, Chantel, Carrie and Susie, Teresa Neal, Mrs. Div, Gary Smith, Ross, Hilda and Helene, Amanda Kay, Alex, Ross, Karen, Rob, Brett, Susie, Ray, Amanda L, DJT, EM, Aiden and Abby, Sharon, Bill, Jody, Nicole, Julie, Helen, Howard and Chris, Kathleen and Anne, Stephanie and Claudio, Mitsuki Kai, Keiko, Django Kitty, Nancy and Larry, Kelly Chase, Helen Lunk, Angie and Ben, Maheshwari, Kevin and Sue, Justin, Dunk, Lorna, and William, Joni, Karen, Ross, Alex, DJT, and John D, Allison, and of course, may all be happy.
The animalistic or lower mind of man often sees that life is about food, shelter, reproduction, perhaps control and dominance. And after a while, one then seems to feel that all of one's happiness is external. And therefore one starts to control all resources or a certain area where one would live. Or perhaps a way that one chooses to live. So control starts to build as one sees happiness is external and therefore it is ownable and it is also subject to loss. So attachments form to people, places, things, or events. And anything that is attached to, there is the potential for loss and the potential for grief. So let me give you a simple story. And see if you can recognize this story in your life in various ways. It's a little tongue-in-cheek, but its moral is right and true. Over a period of time, you start to desire a certain watch that is available in a certain store. And you begin to save for this watch until one day you can afford to purchase it. And you purchase that watch and take it home and spend the first 15 minutes staring at the watch, admiring its beauty, and saying, this is not just any watch, it is now my watch. And you add love to it and saying, look how wonderful this is. You admire the craftsmanship, the beauty of the external and interior of the watch. And you now say that this is a special watch. In fact, it is a once-in-a-lifetime watch. It will never be again. It is only now, and it is mine. It cannot belong to anyone else. I am the owner of this watch. This special once-in-a-lifetime watch. And you forget that it is purely a watch. You have added all these qualities to it, which do not exist in it at all. And then one day, rather than wearing your watch on your right wrist, for some reason, you place it on your left. And when you get to work, you're working away, having forgotten about the watch on your wrist, until there was a little trigger and you look down at the empty wrist. And pain arises. The once in a lifetime special my watch is not there. It is lost. There is panic. There could be anger and rage. There is frustration. Panic gets even stronger. You search your pockets, your bag, you go to your car, you look through your desk. More than once, you do this 3 or 4 times at this panic, and you suffer the loss of your watch. If it was just a plain cheap watch, you would say, you could deal with this. But the specialness of it means that the watch is now lost forever, and I have lost a little piece of myself. All the effort you placed into that watch, its care, being able to afford it, being able to look after it. You would not have lent this watch to anybody because it is only for you. And you look at your desk and you then look at the people surrounding your desk and say, which one has it? Someone has come into my life, taken my wrist, my watch from my wrist, and now has it themselves. Who was it? Which one? Anger and resentment is now building. You look at all these other people with frustration and say, who has it? And you may even stand up and ask them, I know one of you have my watch. Which one is it? If it's to appear back onto my desk now, I would be very grateful. And you storm away hoping for its appearance. But you can't find it, and it is not there when you come back, when you wish the thief puts it back because of their own inner guilt. Your pain lasts, your heart quickens, but is also covered in the heaviness of loss and the pain. Until by pure chance, you look at your other wrist and see the watch sitting there. Can you picture the relief of this person who once had lost everything, all that was held dear, everything that was important to them, didn't care about the pain they passed on to others, those minutes or hours or days of pain that they endured? Do they not then look at their watch longingly and lovingly, grateful for its appearance, Frequently, they would not apologize to another, having blamed them for being the thief, but they would still hold that suspicion because the false self could not conceive that they were in error in any way. You see, in fact, when you look at what is occurring, it is not the watch that is causing the problem. The pain is purely derived from the loss of the watch because of attachment. The attachment to that watch causes the grief and the anger. It is not the watch. It is not the thief, but the attachment. This is lower mind, or if you like, animalistic mind working. Rather than seeing something is purely in the physical world and it will come and it will go. It will arrive, but one day it will fail and be broken. Or it must be let go of and given somewhere else. So because of this sense of ownership to the watch, to something that is transient and impermanent, one suffers in pain. And the pain will endure as long as one attaches to the watch. Now, grief and pain, because of attachment, are very prevalent within the physical world. Grief will arrive. At its mildest, just a sense of mild regret, but then in various degrees ever higher. And as the sense of happiness being external is constantly reinforced, then grief is bound to occur. With attachment comes grief. With ownership comes sorrow. With control comes loss. So as one starts then to control circumstance or attach to certain events, people, places, beliefs, then the risk of a thief is always prominent within that person. Now, spiritually speaking, if one experiences some form of grief and loss, or one recognizes some attachments one has, spiritually, people may seek consolation in their religion or their belief system or their spiritual nature. And one then, if that is the way you are, one should pray, contemplate, pause, absorb oneself in spiritual groups or community, share what is occurring, maybe with friends or family or whoever you feel comfortable with, and see with hindsight that there is grief, and this is because of some form of attachment to the physical world. If one is true to look inwards at these times of grief, you will see that it comes like a wave. It is with you quite strongly and then not at all. It passes again and again through your being. Here 1 minute, gone the next. And the very act that, or the very fact that it is passing, transient, happening in a way it is not constant, is proof that it belongs to the physical world and not the permanent nature of the spiritual world. In the story of meditation I just gave, thoughts arrive and they pass, but stillness is permanent. The grief will come and the grief will go. The sense of loss arrives and the sense of loss will disappear. So if one is seeing the physical world, seeing, let's say, a body, a watch, a person, a place, an event, a belief system, as it gets challenged, there is a loss of self when the lower mind is in operation. So change is not the problem. Resistance to the change is the problem. As lower mind expects everything to be exactly the same all the time, forever. And the watch should only ever be on the one wrist. So grief comes from a sense of loss because of resistance and attachment. Now, if one experiences this, or when you will experience it, there are things that you can do to help yourself. The first is to recognize the truth. Grief is a wave. It is here, it passes, and it will arrive again and pass again. Look at it and see the process working. It is not permanent. It will pass. You can hold it for as long as you wish, your grief or your pain. And many people do. They find themselves or describe themselves as a being in pain or grief. And they may even dress to express this to other people, always wearing black, maybe. Or their shoulders always hunched, looking down, hugging oneself, waiting for someone to ask them what is wrong. As the grief gives them a sense of self. You should also see the truth that your grief is related to your attachment and your resistance, to your holding on, expecting things to be just one way. And it can pass through you if you hold it not and surrender it to what it truly must do. You can also see that all things are not yours. Is it true you can own a watch? Or do you have the use of it for a period of time, but it is not yours? All things do not belong to you. They belong to the world, or to God if you want, and not to you. They can be surrendered back to God, to the universe, to the world, because that is where they belong. You come to observe, to use for a brief period of time, but it is not yours. Never was and never will be. Those clothes on your back you claim are yours. And if they are your favorite, you will have pain because of their destruction. But they are not yours. You just get the use of it for a certain period of time. It is the same with your body. It is not yours. It is given to you for a period of time, and you must let go of it one day. It is a gift given to you. Look after it. But it is not yours. If you're experiencing this grief, this sorrow, this attachment, you should surrender everything to the Creator. And you should find time to sit with what is truly your own. That is your stillness and your love. Let love be with you because it is you. It is not transient or passing or dependent on the external, because it is you. All of your pain is associated with your lower mind, your animalistic mind, your attachments and your resistance. After all, you cannot lose something that you did not own. If you are experiencing the pains of loss and grief, don't avoid them. Look at them, feel all parts of that grief. Feel its center, its outside, where in you it is, how it feels, what it looks like. And surrender to it fully for that brief period of its wave. So grief is part of the human world. It may stay with you as long as you wish. There are activities you can do to increase its transition, so it leaves you far soon. See it for what it is. It is not yours, but passes through you for a while. Stick to your truth of your path. See what is mind and what is spirit. Be like Krishna. Sometimes you work, sometimes you rest, sometimes you contemplate. And let the little blue boy be with you. The boy, of course, is Krishna. In the core of yourself, the truth of your being, you have not owned or lost a watch. There is just the ability to see the world, and only your belief in the world will cause you the difficulty. Now, if you go back to my story of owning and losing the watch, the person was rich beyond measure. But saw all of his wealth in the exterior world and forgot about it in the interior. So your wealth is dependent upon your ability to be still. Briefly or more permanently. It is common to fall into the physical world and its belief system. And how long you stay there is dependent upon you, of how true you see life. From what position you review life. Caught in it or looking and observing it. For whatever reason, this grief has come. And if you were to look at it truly, grief has come to give you freedom from attachment. It has arrived to point out where you are in error. And therefore, grief is just a door to your truth. And you look and see, I was attached. There was resistance to change. Now I see it. I do not need it any longer. Let me deal with this once and for all now. And I surrender all of it because it is not mine. I'm just borrowing it to find my freedom. So although pain of loss of your watch seems very strong and leads you into all ways of errant behavior, it is the opportunity of what it gives you to help you to move away. And you can hold the event, the place, the circumstance, the other forever in your heart. And still not desire to control or to attach to the other person, or place, or circumstance, or watch. And therefore, look at your possessions. Look at them all. Which ones are my possession? Are my once in a lifetime special possession? And look at it. Is that true? Can I give it away so I can be free? My favorite watch there. Someone needs it more than I do. If you can see that there is freedom in surrender and in letting go, then you'll be like Krishna, one who can dwell in stillness, are dear to me. This is a person that's undisturbed by the physical world. So look around your room. Are you attached to anything you see that you cannot give away? Have you once acquired all these things thinking they will make you something better because they are special in some way? Is every item you see in your room a burden that you can be free from? Is not attachment a door to freedom? Is your body not a door to spirit? Is your resistance to meditation your path and not your obstacle? Are you not given the lower mind so that you can become the highest of the high? All things in your life are your door to your afterlife, to your eternal life, to the sense of your freedom, your love, and your peace. Don't take my word. Look. Just look yourself. Is my happiness dependent on that? If you answer yes, your happiness is in the exterior world and not the inner. All things must be given back to their owner at some stage. You only get the use of it for a short period. Let it be your door to freedom and not the chain around your leg. We're going to lift now our talks in subsequent weeks away from the heaviness of the depth of these difficult and painful emotions, and start to raise the vibration away from the pure heaviness into the lightness and brightness of what you can do and the way you can do. Until we speak again. Be free. It's your choice. No attachment. May God bless you all. Mm, mm. There you go. All righty. I hope it was good. Enjoyed it.
End of the recording.
Cancel the recording. I will do that right now. Thank you, Janie.